Did you know that no emotion lasts longer than 90 seconds unless you feed it? Not motivation, not philosophy, neuroscience. Every time you feel something, anger, fear, sadness, your brain releases a cascade of chemicals into your body. These chemicals surge, peak, and begin to fade. And under normal conditions, they're gone in about a minute and a half. 90 seconds. That's the true lifespan of an emotional reaction. But if that's true, why does anger ruin entire days? Why does anxiety follow you for weeks? Why does heartbreak feel endless? Because what lasts isn't the emotion, it's the story. The mind doesn't just feel, it narrates. The moment something happens, your brain begins constructing meaning. What did they mean by that? Why did this happen to me? What if this goes wrong? And each thought quietly restarts the same emotional cycle. Another chemical release, another wave, another 90 seconds, over and over again. You're not feeling one emotion for hours. You're reliving it, dozens, sometimes hundreds of times. Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor described this as the difference between an emotional response and an emotional loop. One is automatic, the other is maintained. So the next time something hits you, pause. Not to suppress it, not to escape it, but to witness it. Close your eyes if you can. Where is it in your body? Is it pressure, heat, tension, restlessness? Most people never ask this. They jump straight into thinking. But emotions are not thoughts. They are physical events. And when you stop narrating, you start noticing. Breathe slowly. Let the feeling move without interruption. You might notice something surprising. It shifts. Not dramatically, not instantly, but subtly, like a wave losing momentum, because that's all an emotion ever was, a wave. And waves don't stay. They rise, they crest, they fall. But here's where most people get stuck. They don't let the wave pass. They grab it, analyze it, attach identity to it. I am angry. I am anxious. I am broken. No, you are experiencing anger. You are noticing anxiety. That distinction is everything, because the moment you become the emotion, you lose the ability to observe it. And what you can't observe, you can't regulate. Think about the last time you reacted instantly. A message, a comment, a look. You felt something rise, and before you even understood it, you acted, spoke sharply, withdrew, defended yourself. And then, seconds later, clarity. That quiet realization. That wasn't necessary. That wasn't the real you. That was 90 seconds of chemistry making decisions on your behalf. We often say, I couldn't help it, I was emotional. But emotions don't control behavior. They influence it, strongly, convincingly, but not absolutely. They're like a voice in your ear, urgent, persuasive, intense, but you still decide whether to listen. Chapter 1. The Frame That Shapes Reality. Here's something even deeper. Your suffering is rarely caused by what happens. It's caused by how you interpret what happens. Your brain is a prediction machine, constantly guessing what's coming next. And when reality doesn't match the prediction, it creates discomfort. That discomfort becomes emotion. Disappointment is not just an event. It's the gap between expectation and reality. And cognitive reframing is how you close that gap. Not by lying to yourself, but by expanding your perspective. You didn't fail. You received information. You weren't rejected. You were redirected. You didn't lose everything. You lost one version of what could have been. And there are others. Always others. Chapter 2. Preparing for Emotional Impact. Most people prepare for success. Very few prepare for emotional difficulty. But life doesn't ask for permission. It happens, unexpectedly, repeatedly. And when it does, your response depends on what you've built beforehand. An emotional first aid kit isn't optional, it's essential. Because in intense moments, you don't think clearly. You revert to habits, to patterns, to defaults. So design them. A breath pattern that calms you, a physical action that resets your body, a sentence that grounds your mind, a person who reminds you who you are. These are not small things. They're anchors. And without anchors, even small waves feel like drowning. Chapter 3. Escaping the mind's trap. Rumination feels productive. It feels like you're solving something, but you're not. You're circling it. The same thought, different angles, no resolution. Because the goal isn't clarity, it's control. And control is an illusion the mind chases when it feels unsafe. You cannot think your way out of every feeling. Sometimes you have to move, change environments, shift attention, interrupt the pattern, because the mind needs direction. If you don't give it one, it returns to what feels familiar, even if that familiarity is painful. Chapter 4. The illusion of being watched. There's a quiet anxiety most people carry, the feeling of being observed, judged, evaluated. But here's the truth. Everyone else is too busy doing the same thing, thinking about themselves, their words, their mistakes, their image. The spotlight you feel is mostly imagined, and when you realize that, you begin to loosen. You stop performing, you start living. Chapter 5. Changing the voice inside. There's a voice inside your head, constant, familiar, and often harsh. But what if that voice isn't truth? What if it's just habit? Try something simple. Change the perspective. Instead of speaking from inside the emotion, speak to yourself from the outside. Use your name. It creates space, distance, clarity. Because advice is always easier to give than to follow. And this technique lets you access your own wisdom as if it came from someone else. Chapter 6. Beyond thought. Eventually, you begin to see something deeper. Thoughts are not commands, they are suggestions. Emotions are not permanent, they are temporary signals. And you are not either of them. You are the awareness behind both, the observer, the space where everything appears and disappears. There's a moment, quiet, subtle, when you stop chasing control, when you stop trying to eliminate every uncomfortable feeling, and instead, you allow. You feel without drowning. You think without attaching. You exist without constant resistance. And in that moment, something shifts. Not outside, inside. You realize that peace was never something you had to build. It was something you were interrupting with constant thinking, constant reacting, constant resisting. Remove the interference, and what remains is calm. Because emotions, no matter how intense, are temporary visitors. Thoughts, no matter how convincing, are passing clouds. But you are the sky, unmoved, unbroken, unfinished. And no matter how many storms pass through you were never the storm. You were the space it moved through. And once you truly understand that, not just intellectually, but experientially, you stop trying to control every feeling and start trusting something deeper. That whatever comes will pass, just like it always has, and just like it always will.